Good afternoon, Gemini. Welcome to my channel. My name is Madeline Parker, and I like to think my reads pertain to whatever planets you have in the sign that I'm doing the read for, whatever house that sign covers, your sun, your moon, but most importantly for your ascendant. And so for Gemini, this read is for Gemini, and we are focusing on January 2020, and we are specifically looking at that Saturn Pluto conjunction in Capricorn. And I'm fascinated by this transit. I'm curious to know what happened. The last time it happened in my life was a very big change. And so I'm curious to see how this change is going to play out in on all the 12 signs. So what else? Oh, I should mention, if you would like a personal read, private read, my email link is posted below. Also, my website is posted below. I write spiritual blogs. And most importantly, I am having spiritual workshops in the Los Angeles area, Silver Lake to be precise, starting January 4th, on balancing energies and how to learn tarot divination, how to speak with your spirit guides, basic astrology, if you're interested in learning some basic astrology. Anyway, email me below if you would like to be put on the mailer. All right, thanks. Now, to the energies at hand for you guys. Gemini, it is happening 8th house. We just did the 9th house for Taurus. So for you guys, it's going to be the 8th house. Aries 10th, Taurus 9th, you guys 8th. Okay? So what does that mean? The 8th house is the house that's ruled by Pluto and also represents the sign of Scorpio and is all about deep clearing of karma, shedding an old version of yourself and ascension into the light, sort of raising up a level of light, as it were. You're shedding an old way of being in alignment or in conjunction with the energy of Saturn, which is about long-term commitments, shifts and changes. I mean Saturn is about discipline, status, career. So then we're looking at clearing an old way, fear-based way of operating in career, shifting out of the south side of the energy of Capricorn, which is security-based choices, fear, status-based choices, ego, maybe addictive choices, materialistic ways, egoistic choices. 2, with the Jupiter in the picture, because Jupiter is also in Capricorn, and so is Mercury. So we've got a real intensification of these energies of materialization for the long haul, practical, but for the good in the north side energetics of Capricorn, which is to reach the pinnacle of who you are, the ultimate, the long haul, willing to do what it takes to get there, to be the highest version of yourself, because we're with Jupiter, and Jupiter wants us to service the greater whole and walk towards bringing everybody into the light, into the energy of expansion for the good of all and abundance. So there's that. We have these eclipse and all of here, don't forget, so Tower card is eclipse energy for sure. So for Gemini, we get that Magician card there in the 11th spot. That's a nice spot for that card. Gosh, I just had this in the last read in that spot. And we had this card in the last read too. That's why I find it interesting. That's what actually started me study astrology, because I kept doing these reads. When I was doing reads for everybody, there were so many similarities in all the reads that I started looking up at the stars and going, okay, what's going on? All right, Gemini, let's have a look here. Hope you're having a wonderful holiday time. I am. It's very peaceful here in Southern California right now. Okay, we're starting out with a 7 of Wands. So what that means is holding your ground. This man is at the top of the hill. He's fighting off obstacles. He's holding his ground. So there's something, this read is saying we're coming into the year, we're coming into this new transit with a stick-to-itiveness around holding a very high vision, holding a wish to attain something really high. So it feels like the Gemini are willing to motivate from a place of joy and fun, and to go towards a higher, I mean, what higher dream or vision could you possibly reach for than the world? So in the mind of the Gemini, they want to achieve, that's exactly what Jupiter's all about. That's what I was just saying. And we're talking about the eighth house here, so we're going to get some big shiftings in some deep emotional, plutonic, karmic wounding, right? Pain that traps you and prevents you from understanding or knowing what your highest destiny is. That is the most fulfilling. So, and it's going to be, this is what's very congruent in all these reads right now with this transit that's going on, is Jupiter is shifting everyone to the truth. That's also very Jupiterian energy, Sagittarius, which is the cup, which is the heart, which is what you feel. It's emotionally, your honest emotional self, right, is now leading, rather than your air energy of the mind, of the strategizing energy. You're now operating from joy energy. You want to have more fun. You know, that's so interesting, because that is the Gemini energy, you know, that playful, sorry, I don't mean to point at the camera. I get into these reads. The Gemini energy is the playful, fun energy. All the Geminis I've ever known are a lot of fun. So there's a return to the truth of the nature of the Gemini, which is to have fun. Now, this is Cancer, but also has a Gemini duality to it. So there's there's the desire to operate on a universal level. So in other words, we're not just talking finances. We're not just talking status, career. We're talking, the eighth house is a universal energy. It's not like career or marriage or relationships. I mean, it's a really sort of a soul, a house where we really look at the deep shifting the soul is here to make, because the eighth house represents everything that we put in place of God. So Gemini are shifting. Now here is the divine section of my read. We get some major arcanas here. The World, the Sun, the Magician, and the Wheel of Fortune. I mean, and there's the Aries energy, but the Tower. These are some really powerful major arcanas that we're talking about here, which is about the missing piece. It's like Saturn and Pluto are shifting you. You've already released, it looks like we've already released for Gemini. Some people still have things to release for this shift, but I think Geminis have prepared themselves for this, and they've made some progress as far as efforting in the wrong way, knowing not to do that, knowing not to be out of alignment, and how burdensome living a life of just work is. That negating their play energy. They want to break free. They want to come forward with a universal purpose. That's Jupiter again. These are both expansive, universally supported, meaningful for a global purpose. The world, again, the world and the Wheel of Fortune is sort of a servicing the greater whole. The Gemini wants to be set free to operate from a place of joy and fun, servicing, going forward. It's almost like the Gemini want to step up and save humanity here, and do it with sort of a bravado, with a sort of confidence, with a sort of, I want to say, Gemini is a masculine energy with a certain amount of like purposeful certainty. The Magician in that spot really kind of throws me, because it's the full power. This Pluto-Saturn energy is taking things out of the Gemini's life that divided them from being in their full power about everything. This is about a total fulfilling experience and experiencing the full meaning of life, the full, total, the highest attainment in life is not about success. It's not about just one thing. It's not about attaining something. It's about all the elements coming together and experiencing an effortless flow of abundance as a result of joy, and the Gemini being the playful souls that they are, and shine their light. That is the energy of the light. The Gemini is the air energy, the light. So they want to just really step up. Gemini, you guys are really ready to step up for the good of all, the lead the way, to be the light showers, and to do it with this confidence, with this sort of like, yep, this is what we're going to do. We're all going to step forward. We're going to make these changes. We're going to help the world. The universe is going to support me. It's going to be fun. It's going to feel very fulfilling. It's going to stop me from operating from such a dry way in life that isn't playful. Towering, again, this card to me always represents, with the Queen of Pentacles here, in turned out of alignment, towering. Gemini, I'm afraid you may have been mostly operating from a place of trying to materialize more wealth. And now look at this. The outcome, the other meaning for this card, the Wheel of Fortune, is materializing, masses of wealth effortlessly. Realizing with this, because this comes underneath the Magician card, this is, we've talked about this for Gemini before, that they have these fears of commitment because of troubled pasts. But now they understand that their new future is going to have, because it's more heartfelt, that there's going to be more joy in the future, so there isn't going to create as much emotionally or lack of stability, emotional calm in your life. And so that created fears around commitment. And so now you're sort of sailing away from this, but you are at the same time feeling remorseful of some of the past, because during this shifting period of Pluto and Saturn, we're going through releasing, right? Everybody's doing mass releasing and karmic clearing and letting go of addictive patterns, addictive relationships, ways of thinking, ways of seeing things. And so at the same time, we're possibly regretting some of the choices we've made or things we've done or said, but also feeling sad about the changes that we need to make, or the new route we have to take, and who we have to leave behind possibly. And as the Wheel of Fortune shifts, your fate is shifting. There's this empowerment now for the Gemini that it's causing shift and changes. So I think there's some Gemini possibly that are processing this with some sadness and remorse, and also some grieving of what has to be left behind. We've got 3 cups here, so possibly they're having to let go and say goodbye. There's a sadness. It's in alignment. You know what it is? It's becoming clear. It's like Gemini are having to let go of old emotional lack way of living. So it's sort of like giving up some of the benefits of that, and realizing that, because this is again the 6 of Swords, leaving these troubled waters, feeling sad about, there's a period here where the Gemini is going to feel a little bit sad about leaving the world that was behind. And perhaps you don't realize that there's this new start, the new Ace of Cups, the new beginning, that's going to bring you a new, well, we've already talked, you know what it is? It's kind of like the Gemini has to step out, go on mission, and do something important for the world, and leave their old life behind of comfort, leave possibly relationships, old sort of, I would say, comfort zones, things like that. But they weren't really emotionally fulfilling. So it's kind of like we have to let go of security blankets, we have to let go of a certain amount of things that gave us we kind of have to throw our lives into change. So we have to sort of release things that we're comfortable, and that can sometimes be an issue for us because it's, you know, it's what we're used to. Possibly that's what it is. We're just so used to it, things being a certain way, and this the wheel of fortune really literally means shifting and fate. Shifting, things are changing, and you know what? The change comes with a little bit of grieving of the old ways. But there's an awareness that there is emotional emptiness in those situations, and now there brings in a new fulfilling new beginning in something that's very emotionally fulfilling, and living the life out of alignment for money is completely towering away. There's a new financial opportunity coming in with this, and could involve travel. We're talking about the eighth house, so we're really talking about energetic deep purging, of shifting, of living a life that wasn't play and joy, and that was just too depressing and empty, and operating too much out of, which is south side of Capricorn, financial security, or or people's impressions of you. Queen of Pentacles to me is someone who's always trying to sort of, her image, and the south side, her image is more important. Again, this is out of alignment. So you're becoming aware of out of alignment with the divine, out of alignment with what really made you experience a lot of joy. This confinement this way of thinking, it's possible because it's the eighth house. It protected you. You were able to protect your heart. There's a wall there that's coming crashing, boom. So you're going to be a little more out your truth. So it's a little bit more vulnerable. That's often the reason we are afraid to do our heart. That's going to tower away, kaboom, to new, because you understand. If I operate from the joy in my heart, there's a lot of healing that's happened here too. So the joy in the heart, what's truly desirable, what really brings the Gemini joy, is becoming very knowledgeable. It's what they really want. It's going to take them to their highest attainment. Gosh, I could talk about this read for a very long time. I don't know how long I've been. Okay, let's have a look and see what the Taoists have to say about this energy for Gemini. See if they can pull this whole thing together for us. Compassion. That's interesting. Embody compassion and open your heart to kindness, to kindness. Understand the world with unconditional love and forgiveness. Guan Yin is here to protect and heal you. You and your loved ones are safe. All is well. So it's kind of like Gemini have reached this sort of plateau, and they are now ready to launch their whole new hero's journey towards freeing the world, helping the world out, really, really putting themselves into big service and big purpose, in their power, materializing with all their elements. Fear, restrictive perceptives that held them back, that stopped them from living a life of joy and fun and childishness. And we're talking about compassion here. So opening your heart to kindness, understanding the world with unconditional love and forgiveness. It's like this freedom is here to protect and heal you. Yoki and your loved ones are safe. It's like you guys are free to have the ultimate. This is just great. I don't know what else to say other than that you're shifting onto a higher frequency living experience. It's like a shift up in level. Beautiful. Thank you, Gemini, for watching. Namaste.